Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new video. Today we're going to be breaking down the best starter Pokemon to choose for Pokemon Legends EA. Let's get into it. So, starting things off, we're going to be taking a look at the Pokemon typings, because they do change upon Mega Evolving in Pokemon Legends EA. Let's begin with Meganium. Now, Meganium is a pure Grass-type Pokemon, meaning that it takes double damage from Flying, Poison, Bug, Fire, and Ice-type moves. However, though, it does resist Ground, Water, Grass, and Electric-type moves. Upon Mega Evolving in Pokemon Legends EA, though, Meganium gains the Fairy typing, making it a Grass Fairy-type Pokemon. So within that type change, strengths and weaknesses also change. It now takes quadruple damage from Poison-type moves. It also still takes double damage from Flying, Steel, Fire, and Ice-type moves. However, though, it does now resist Fighting, Ground, Water, Grass, Electric, and Dark. And it also is immune to Dragon-type moves. So gaining this Fairy typing gives it a ton of new resistances and an immunity. The only issue, though, is that it now takes quadruple damage from Poison-type moves instead of ×2. But I think that is a pretty cool trade-off, getting all of those extra resistances. Next up, we're going to be taking a look at Feraligatr. Now, Feraligatr is a pure Water-type Pokemon, meaning that it takes double damage from Grass and Electric-type moves. However, though, it does resist Steel, Fire, Water, and Ice-type moves. Upon Mega Evolving, though, Feraligatr gains the Dragon typing, meaning that it now takes double damage from Dragon and Fairy-type moves. It resists Steel-type moves, and it also quad resists Fire and Water-type moves. So with Feraligatr, the strengths and weaknesses completely change when Mega Evolving. This could be good and bad, because when you're in the middle of a battle and you're taking on an opponent and you're trying to figure out the best strategy, when Mega Evolving Feraligatr, all of the type strengths and weaknesses completely change. So you always have to remember that in the back of your head. Finishing things off, we're going to be taking a look at Emboar. Now, Emboar is a fire fighting type Pokemon, meaning that it takes double damage from Flying, Ground, Water, and Psychic type moves. It resists Steel, Fire, Grass, Ice, and Dark, and it quad resists Bug type moves. Now, this Pokemon's typing does not change upon Mega Evolving. It stays as a fire fighting, so there are no changes to its strengths and weaknesses. Coming up next, let's take a look at the starter Pokemon stats. Now, when a Pokemon Mega Evolves, it usually gains around 100 stat points, and those stat points usually get placed in its already best stats. So let's take a look at Meganium, for example. It's got 80 HP, 82 physical attack, 83 physical defense, and 80 speed. However, though, its physical and special defense both have 100 stats, meaning that when this Pokemon Mega Evolves, it's probably going to get even more bulky. So maybe that's 30 more stat points into defense and special defense, and then maybe another 40 in HP or something like that. Its attacks will probably increase as well, but I think the majority of those stat points are going to go into defense. So if you want a really bulky Pokemon as your starter, Meganium looks like the best choice. Coming up next, we have Feraligatr. Now, this Pokemon has 85 HP, 79 special attack, 83 special defense, and 78 speed. However, though, its physical attack is 105 and its physical defense is 100. So it's very likely that Mega Feraligatr's increased stats go into physical attack and physical defense. But I could also see this Pokemon getting a little bit more bulky as well because of its design having that sort of massive red helmet on it as well. So if you want a more physically rounded starter Pokemon, then Feraligatr is probably the better choice. With Emboar's stats, it has 110 HP, 123 physical attack, 65 physical defense, 100 special attack, 65 special defense, and 65 speed. So you can see this Pokemon is a very physically attacking Pokemon, but still also has a very high special attack as well, being 100. It is not very bulky though, and it's very slow. So I think that the Mega Evolution stats are probably just going to increase those attack stats even more. Remember though, with Pokemon Legends EA, speed stat is very important, because that also has an impact on how quickly your move cooldowns reset. So that actually means that, just judging from these stats, Meganium's actually the fastest, which is quite ironic because it's going to be the most bulkiest as well. So unless there's a major speed stat change to Feraligatr and Emboar, Meganium's also better in that regard as well. Next up, let's take a look at move pools. Now, Meganium's move pool is Petal Dance, Tackle, Poison Powder, Growl, Petal Blizzard, Razor Leaf, Synthesis, Reflect, Magical Leaf, Leech Seed, Sweet Scent, Light Scream, Body Slam, Safeguard, Giga Drain, and Solar Beam. Now, this is probably going to change quite drastically. We've already seen Chikorita be able to use the move Disarming Voice in a previous trailer, and that's obviously to correlate with its new fairy typing when it Mega Evolves. But I also wouldn't be surprised to see Mega Meganium learn moves like Moonblast, or Dazzling Gleam, or something like that. Learning Reflect and Light Screen is also very useful because this includes your whole team. So when a Pokemon gets sent in, it will still have that Reflect and Light Screen on the Pokemon, offering bulk to the rest of your team, not just Meganium. We're not sure on all the TMs that are going to be usable in Pokemon Legends EA, but Meganium also gets access to moves like Swords Dance and Charm, which can also boost your attack stat and lower your opponent's attack stat. So not only is Meganium very bulky, it also has access to some pretty good stat boosting moves. Next up, we have Feraligatr, which can learn the moves Scratch, Leer, Water Gun, Agility, Bite, Scary Face, Ice Fang, Flail, Crunch, Slash, Screech, Thrash, Aqua Tail, Superpower, and Hydro Pump. Now, we have seen Totodile use the move Bubble Beam in a previous trailer, so we know that that's going to be a new move that he gets access to, but with the additional Dragon typing when this Pokemon Mega Evolves, it's probably going to learn certain moves like Dragon Claw and Breaking Swipe just through level up. It's also really nice to see this Pokemon learn the move Agility, because this is going to boost Feraligatr's speed stat, which we've already spoken about in today's video, how that can impact move cooldowns, so definitely something very nice to have there. This Pokemon also learns Swords Dance and moves like Dragon Dance through level up as well, meaning that this Pokemon can have a very high attack stat whilst also having a very high speed stat as well with these status improving moves. Finishing things off, we have Emboar, who has Tackle, Arm Thrust, Tail Whip, Ember, Defense Curl, Flame Charge, Smog, Rollout, Takedown, Heat Crash, Assurance, Flamethrower, Head Smash, Roar, and Flare Blitz. Now, we haven't seen Tepig use any new moves in the trailer so far, but I'm sure it will get some. But it does learn the move Flame Charge, which is very nice because that deals damage and also raises your speed stat. And again, we know how important speed is in this Pokemon game. Emboar also learns moves such as Bulk Up through TM, which again, very nice for increasing stats mid-battle. Something to note about the moves that these Pokemon learn as well are how those moves are going to be used in the actual Pokemon Legends EA game. You have area of effect moves such as Earthquake, which is going to hit multiple Pokemon. You have moves such as Razor Leaf, which hit Pokemon in a straight line. And then you just have moves like Water Gun, which just hits a single Pokemon. So having more AoE moves, having more lane moves, stuff like that is also going to be very beneficial when choosing your starter Pokemon. Finishing things off though, and the biggest factor that I think you need to take into account when choosing your starter Pokemon is what the rest of your team is going to be. We know that you are going to get multiple other starter Pokemon in this game, like the Generation 6 starter Pokemon and the Generation 1 starter Pokemon. And so if your favorite Pokemon is something like Blastoise or Greninja, then it's probably not worth choosing Totodile, because then you will have multiple water types in your team, and you don't really want overlapping types, because it's going to have quite a bit of a disadvantage later on in the game. It's the same for the grass types and the fire types though. If you really want Charizard on your team, probably not worth picking Emboar, and if you really like Venusaur or you really like Chestnut, probably not worth choosing Meganium. This isn't just the starter Pokemon though. I also think that Pokemon such as Gyarados might be something that you want in your team, and again, might not be a reason for picking Totodile because you really want that other water type. Overlapping types are okay, but if you want the best way to tackle this game, then you kind of want as many possible types in your team, so you have as many strengths and resistances that you can bring Pokemon in to fight whatever you are fighting. So with all of that out of the way, I generally think the best starter Pokemon to choose is Chikorita, which is, again, completely against what most people are going to say, but having 6 resistances and 1 immunity, having the highest speed stat, and also getting moves like Reflect, Light Screen for your whole team, as well as moves like Swords Dance to boost your attack, I think it's just a very viable option for this game. I know at the end of the day it's whoever your favorite starter Pokemon is, but going from a statistical point of view, Meganium is generally the best option. You just have to keep it away from poison type moves because it will probably get one-shot by those. Either way though, that is everything for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed something and hopefully you learn more about whichever starter Pokemon you are going to choose. Now, of course, honestly, there is no right or wrong answer. I'm just bringing you all the stats and all the information that you kind of need to know. So yeah, whoever starter Pokemon you're going to choose is the right option for you. But thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day. And until next time, peace.